Come back anytime. I know a buyer when I see one. The pressure was on.
Hello, how's it going? Might take a while just to get into some keys here, but I'm trying to just have a little look at Shadow since the buff. I haven't had a chance to play since the reset, so I'm good, thank you. Just been taking a lot of time for the family lately. It's a nice spending some time back to work now as well. I was off from maternity leave, so I work nights, so I'm back in work. So it's been rough. But we move on. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, they're both really healthy, thank you. The baby's got a bit of colic, so he's a bit like grunty. Sometimes it's hard for us to get the wind up after the bottle, but generally I couldn't be happier, thank you. Mum's recovered really well as well. I appreciate it more than you know. Now let's see if we can get into any of these keys. I would do me aim, but I don't think anybody signs up. Yeah, I'm really excited for Dragonflight actually. You know, new expansion's always exciting. Although I don't think my missus would be excited to hear me say how many hours I'm going to sink away. Well, it's a must, you know. It is my only hobby. How are you? Are you excited? Oh, hey, that's a good feeling though, isn't it, when your guild specifically asks you to come back to raid? makes all the difference between just returning like casually and actually knowing that you're getting into some content. What are you planning on playing? Very nice. Yeah, both Priest Healer specs look pretty good. It was looking a bit dicey for this bit, but Blizzard just flat out reversed the change, right? I've always liked Mistweaver. I don't know what it is. Honestly, as long as you I mean, you'll be playing both specs, I guess. Disc is just a bit more like reliant on you knowing the fights, but I'm sure you'll smash it. Yeah, like having two specs that can heal and knowing one of them's always going to be viable it's an easy pick for some people, right? That's why Shadow is a little bit of an iffy pick, because if you main it, like chances are you're going to end up having to heal like some content that you don't want to get invited to, or just be really good at Shadow. But nah, you can't complain. Two healer specs. Both of them are pretty fun as well, all things considered. Power Word Life's a little bit iffy, but yeah. I mean, at least you've got it leveled up, right? It means you can just play it whenever you fancy it. That's kind of what I tend to gravitate towards. I'll level up pretty much every single class to max level in like the first 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you've got it sorted. 2 classes you know how to play really well, and then testing it on anyone. I suppose that's one of the benefits of probably why your guild asks you to come back, right? Because you can play so many different specs. Just fill a gap that they need. Decent healers are really hard to come by. Hopefully Dragonflight slaps. Like, quite a few people have said, you know, that they feel it's gonna be a good one, but until we see it. Yeah, honestly, I was the same. So I was a teacher before my new job, and it was, you know, 5 days a week. Like, I would have to leave like the house at like 6 o'clock in the morning, like UK time, and I wouldn't get home until about 6 PM. And I wasn't seeing like the kids or like, you know, my partner or anything. So changed to work at night, now I work at 8 PM till 8 AM, like 3 days a week. So it's 3 nights a week for the same pay. So, and I get to see my kids every single day. So it's probably going to kill me off long term, but that's what you're doing, it. But yeah, now I'm back in, like before, when I was like streaming and making videos and stuff, I'd literally just have all day every day to do it, because I had like the 4 weeks off work. But now I'm back in work, I'm probably going to have to make a schedule, and have like recording, editing, stuff like that. Because I don't think I can just like YOLO it anymore. But it'll be alright. Yeah, sorry about the wait team. Like, we had a tank, but he just went offline. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of hard. So I was playing Warlock for my guild, and Shadow Priest has always been like my ult. And I noticed, like, so I've never really been like one for like class discords, right? But I just thought I'd join and see what it was like, and there was nothing really in there. Oh, let me turn that music. Yeah, so I joined the Discord, and it was all like a bit like doomy and gloomy, and like, you know, people weren't really making videos or anything because they weren't enjoying the spec. And given I'd like to think I know I know enough about the class to actually talk about it and not embarrass myself online, I thought I'd give it a shot. Because I've always streamed and stuff, but not on like proper, just like to friends and stuff during raids. Like the Shadow Priest theory crafting team is insane. Like, I do think even from like Mr. Pandaria, the Shadow Priest theory crafting like people have been on top of the game like for a long while. But a lot of them don't really play much anymore. I found that with a lot of like Simcraft people, they don't really play the game, they just do like the number crunches and stuff still. But yeah, like, people were just a bit doomy and gloomy, and I thought I could still show people that Shadow's actually playable. Yeah, exactly. So I'll leave them to do all the theory crafting and stuff, and I'll just use it, but yeah. It's fun, it's nice, because I've had quite a few people, like, you know, commenting and messaging me just saying, like, it's nice to have somebody not joining in with all the doom and gloom and like showing people like how to play the spec still. And because regardless of how a spec plays, right, there's always going to be people that want to play it. There's always going to be new people joining the game that want to give it a go. And if people aren't enjoying the class, like the main people that create the guides and stuff, it's hard for them to put out content. So I think in Public's last like Shadow Priest podcast, or like everybody just seemed so deflated and almost defeated. You can't have that, man. Otherwise people just won't want to play the game. So, hence here I am. Hey, Nolly. Yeah, dude, I'm enjoying the Shadow Priest. I really am. No, I'm maining Shadow Priest. Well, it's up in the air at the minute. So my raid leader messaged me the other day just saying, you know, I play Warlock at the minute. But I ult Shadow Priest, and it was like we weren't sure if I was going to be playing Warlock or Priest. And I was mainly playing Warlock because we only had 2 Warlocks, and if one of them's like, if I reroll to Shadow and then the other guy, you know, misses a raid, then they wouldn't have a Warlock, but they've currently recruited another Warlock, so I think there's a chance I might actually get to main Shadow. But regardless, I was gonna like play Shadow Priest all the time. Like, I'm always like, I'm a Shadow Priest main at heart, right? I just played Warlock because that's what my guild needed at the time. No, yeah, it's nice to see Shadow Priest mains, Gnarly, especially like with the current criticism and stuff. But yeah, I'm hoping like it's being discussed at the minute. But fingers crossed I get to play the Shadow. Yeah. I don't know, Shadow's always just felt nice. It scales really well. Like, at the end of an expansion, you can always rely on Shadow to be pretty good, right? I've not really done much PvP in it, but I am trying to try and branch out into PvP as well in Dragonflight. I haven't played proper arenas since, like, Warlord to Draenor, so it's going to be rough. But there's a few builds that are quite nice for arena at the minute. You know, you've got your Psychic Link when you've got dots up. Pain and Death's quite nice because you get to execute like from a higher health. There's a lot of instant cast when you get Mind Devourer. It's pretty nice. Void Torrent does a hell of a lot of damage as well. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I think there are like builds as well at the minute where you just go full like instant cast abilities, and you know, you got Mind Spike for the Mind Spike procs, Shadowy Insight for the Mind Blast. It's gonna be nice. Yeah, providing you got your dots up and they don't like flatline, you've got a lot of pressure. I think this group's doomed. Yeah, just get the purge out, right? I've just never played with it enough. Yeah, people rip this group. I'm sorry guys, it's taking a while. Thanks for the subs, guys. Ah, I'm glad to hear that, Gnarly, mate. I'm just gonna be getting into some keystones and just getting it going, you know. I have some content I need to record, like for background for my next video, so hopefully I get accepted. Hate the waiting part, but then I don't want to do my own key because it's just even longer of a wait because most of these groups already have tanks and I'm sure you guys get it. You've all played Priest, right? You know it's hard to get into keys, so. So is that your advice, Tootsie, then? Just dot up and then just perma purge? If that's the case, PvP is going to be easier to get into than I thought. I understand some of the concept, so when I did do PvP and WoD, I played Disc Priest, so it was just perma purging then as well. I imagine it's going to be quite weird lining up damage windows, because I imagine you're going to end up playing Dark Ascension with Mind Spike, and just wait for a big load of procs. You just send it with Void Torrents, but it'd be nice to learn. Might open up a completely new section of the game for me, you know. Yeah, I mean, just like from watching, I can imagine it feels kind of hard to like get that around your head that you're still being useful while purging. I don't know if that's just me, but got an Ellie Shaman, Windwalker. It's kind of sad that you're probably never really going to go Adlan as off because this is just useless. Like these roads are just useless. Because in Dragonflight you're going to be going Yoshraj and probably Yogg-Saron, but it's annoying because it's literally a Mythic plus talent that you're never going to take because Mind Devour is just too important. Gets to me a bit, you know. I just don't understand why they have to hide AoE talent behind, you know, single target things. Human, probably for the extra bit of intellect, although it's so, like, minimal. Like, you wouldn't notice the difference if you didn't go human. But if you're, like, that stickler for, like, that little 1%, then, yeah, you probably go human just for the extra intellect. But again, I just want to, it's like, state you don't have to do that, yeah. Like, if you do that, that's entirely on you. Like, if that's how you want to play the game, like, yeah, defo human. Oh, I hate these when they do the exhaust. I don't think this tank's going to end up pulling, like, big enough packs. Yeah. I'll remember that. I want to be one of those priests that remembers to dispel stuff and be useful. Hopefully he pulls quickly. Almost didn't get used to that free Mind Devourer profile.
Assistance protocol activated.
Oh, I know, right? It's nice to see the apparitions again after the bug. I was so sad with the bug because it just completely took away the apparitions altogether. Hopefully the guy does a bit more trash. Still need to get myself a Zap bot as well. Pop VE because the healer's struggling. Oh, the ghosties. Yeah, that makes it worthwhile, team. I really don't get like the logic of taking away apparitions from everyone. Like, I've never heard anybody say that it was like a FPS issue for them, like having a Shadow Priest apparitions on their screen. That's just bizarre to me. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. Yeah, exactly. Like all the imps and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy, right? If only I had that, but it's one of them, right? It's I lined up pretty well. I had pretty much everything except PI and 2 targets. I'll take it though. The fun part I'll be seeing if I get Mind Devourer procs on this trash here. So somebody was like saying like they were pretty confused with my like AoE like single target guide in terms of like you stop mind blasting at a certain point, and it's not that you stop like mind blasting, it's that when your Shadow Flame runs out because you're going to be playing Inescapable Torment, the only reason that you don't now is because Shadow Flame Prison's a legendary. And it's not that you stop, it's just that it stops becoming a high priority, because when you've got 8-9 targets with full dots on for the duration, you've got Shadow Crash available, you know, you've got Void Eruption, you're going to be gaining enough insanity to just Mind Seer. Like, of course, you could use like the instant procs that you're going to be getting from Shadowy Insight, but it's just not, you know, it's not up there on the priority list. Exactly, so once you've got it going, and you know, you've got the Void Eruption up, you extend on your dots, you know, you're going to be safe for about 30 or so seconds, it's a lot easier to just rely on your actual insanity filling up from all those shadowy apparitions. And I know they took away, you know, the double insanity with the like the 2 ghosts with, you know, crits, but it's actually. And another thing as well, I've started like, well, I mean, I guess it's common knowledge by now, but just like Mind Searing on 2 targets, it's a lot more worth. No, Tootsie, they didn't. If you'd see me press a Mind Seer in my Insanity Bar as I'm moving, it's because it's a Mind Devourer proc, which you get just above Yogg-Saron, where Mind Blast has a 20% chance to make your next Devouring Plague or Mind Seer costing them Insanity. So it's one of those you've got to be kind of careful, because if you're capping Insanity and then you get a Mind Devourer proc, you could be wasting Insanity by sitting on it. So you've got to try and use it as soon as you can. Yeah, this one might be a little bit rough. I don't have any. No, don't have Void Eruption, but. A nice little thing is you get quite a few ads before the smash comes in, so you can get a good bit of damage up here. Set your head a little bit, you know. Yeah, the monk's just gonna fly up at the end of the earthquake. There's nothing we can do. We don't have that AoE. I just didn't see the point in dotting those ads because they're just gonna die anyway. I'd rather just blast the boss, you know, get the boss down. As well, you'll see Shadow doing a lot of higher damage as well and higher keys. Stuff, even though it's fortified, stuff just is dying pretty quick. Ideally, you would get each pack that you've got, you would have your Mindbender up, which is a minute cooldown, so not really asking too much. And ideally, I'd have a Zapbot. The route's a bit weird, it doesn't give me access to a Zapbot. Maybe I get one here. Gamer. Was waiting for the dogs. Guess I'll dispel myself. Healer took a little bit too long. Yeah, super small man. It's crazy, like in this dungeon, how much of a difference that bot makes for Shadow just because of the haste. Like 60% haste on the Zap bot, oh vey. And somehow we pulled this. Okay. Move out of sleep. Stuff just dies so quick, man. Can't win. I wish they didn't change the min-max range of Halo. So in the previous iteration of Halo, if you stood at a max range and you got it off and it landed at like right at the edge, it would do increased damage and healing. They took that away because I guess they just thought it was a bit too difficult for people to min-max or something. I don't know. I want to wait and see if he's going to do a big pull for this Void Eruption. If not, I'm just going to have to hold it for the boss, which I don't really want to do, but I don't make these important decisions. I just have to live with them. Void Eruption here. Quite a few ads. Really important as well that if you get like a Mind Devourer proc like mid-rotation, you've got to have something tracking it. Because if you don't use that up, it's just such wasted damage. Like the amount of people that I've seen like playing Priest and they just aren't tracking Mind Devourer at the minute, it's just such a waste. You're literally missing out on a massive chunk of AoE damage in any situation. It's also a bit weird as well. In Dragonflight, at the minute on a single target rotation, because you well, even on single target, you play Yogg-Saron, right? So you end up with Mind Devourer. You use your free, like your proc, you want to use it on Mindseer still, because Mindseer with Mental Decay still extends your dots. So to extend your dots in a single target environment, you want to be using that free proc on Mindseer, providing you've already got Devour and Plague up. Hey Thefty man. So Shadow was okay before the buffs. Like the playstyle was a bit rough on single target because you were playing Mind Spike, but the buffs kind of just brought it back onto par with other classes. So the buffs overall, it looked big, but the buffs overall are about a 7% buff, which is pretty big. Like that's on the higher end of the buffs that we've seen before. I've personally not seen a 7% flat buff before at all, so that was a nice surprise. So with that 7% buff on literally every aspect of Shadow Priest, it's really strong. So I was already recommending Shadow Priest to people that have played it, you know, and people want to give it a try. But even more so now, like 100%, like play Shadow if you want to. It's super viable anyway. Sure, the playstyle might not be everybody's cup of tea on a single target because you are playing Mind Spike, which can be quite bloaty. It can feel iffy to press, and you know, sometimes you feel like you've got too many buttons to press, but that's Shadow on single target. That's not going to change going forward. But there are builds that make it so that you don't have to play Mind Spike. The only thing you have to be okay with is accepting the fact that these builds might be 4-5% less damage overall than a Mind Spike build. If you can get over that and you don't care about that 4 or 5%, you can literally play Shadow, fully single target, without Mind Spike. That's your choice, you know, nobody's going to tell you off for it. But it's really fun to play anyway. You know, you've got your apparitions filling your screen again. Just nobody else's screen, which is sad. You've got instant AoE. Yeah, exactly, 4D. You don't have to. That's the thing. That's the nice thing. A lot of people are dooming and glooming about Priest because you've got to play Mind Spike. There are builds that quite literally only shave off 3% damage. If you're not pushing for, like, you know, world first content, that 3% damage just doesn't matter. Like, you're not going to get, like, told off for not playing it right unless your guild, like, really cares about that stuff. Which is what I've been trying to tell people. Yeah, so the only reason you swap between DA and Void Eruption at the minute is DA single target. So unless you're doing like a 28, right, that's fully single target, like let's say an Upper Karazhan kind of dungeon. But yeah, I'm going to be playing Void Form in pretty much every single key that I go into going forward. Just because it sets you up for an entire pack. If you've got a tank that's competent enough to pull the big packs, you know, you don't have to ever refresh your dots until the pack's dead. Yes, and I'm fully, like, aware, like, you know, it's a choice, you know. Some people just really dislike Mind Spike, and that's fine. And at the minute, like, Mind Spike is still the filler, you know. A few patches ago in the Dragonflight beta, you were literally spamming, like, hard casting Mind Spike because it did a lot more damage. That got fixed, but I would have been completely upset if that didn't get fixed. Hey, I'm 299 on this character at the minute. So yeah, honestly, don't worry about damage at the minute. Like, damage on the pre-patches, and you know, it's not like the end of the world, right? If you're looking at Priest and you're like not sure whether or not you want to play it going forward, just remember, this isn't what it's going to be like in Dragonflight. You know, number crunching and doing stuff like that now doesn't really help you. It's only going to get you frustrated, and you know, you're going to criticize your own gameplay when you don't have to. You just play the game, get used to the rotation, because the rotation isn't going to change. Not like by much anyway. So if anything right now, just practice your rotation. Yeah, I get that for you, right? So on the like written guides for Priest at the minute, there's a lot of it is quite complex, right? You know, there's use this if this condition is active, and if this isn't active, then make sure you're using something else. It's a little bit weird. So Thefty, it's a bit different. So let's say you're going into let's say you're going into a big AoE pack, right? Let's get one down here. So 3 target pack. Let's say you're getting ready to go. You see the tank going in. You Shadow Crush. You want to get rid of your Mind Blast stacks in case you get a Mind Devourer proc. Mind Bender. Get your Halo up. Mind Game's on a single target one. Again, it's kind of hard because I'm about to keep refreshing here, but we'll just go with it. Use up your Mind Devourer procs. And make sure you're weaving in your Mind Blast and Shadow Word Death, especially while you've got your Mind Bender up. Because with this talent, Inescapable Torment, it cleaves and does quite a bit of nice AoE damage. And yeah, 4D, so if it was a flat out removal of Mind Flaying, it's Mind Flaying Sanity, right? If Mind Flaying Sanity or Mind Flaying General was completely overwritten by Mind Spike, it would be okay. Because at the minute, it kind of feels like in the talent tree, you've got 2 fillers. You've got 2 filler spells, which isn't how it should feel. Like, you shouldn't have to feel like you've got 2 filler spells, and you're constantly thinking, which one should I use? Hey Snowman, how's it going, dude? Mate, you know me, Shadow's never gonna suck. Not while I'm playing it. Thank you, Reckerman. I hope you have a nice sleep. Take care, dude. Enjoy your good night's sleep. How's it going, Snow? We got into another junkyard. Let's get back there. Bit of a higher key now as well, so maybe things will live a bit longer, but I can already see... Oh, it's Mistweaver. We should be okay. Might actually get to do damage in this one, team. Yeah, 40. So I was originally playing Auspicious Spirits because it's passive damage, right? You don't have to worry about it and they generate insanity. But with Tormented Spirits and Yogg Saron, you're getting apparitions a lot more frequently. So you're getting more Yogg Sarons. And it feels nicer just to have them up all the time. Because if you look at my damage from that dungeon, things from beyond 5.2 and 2.4. Literally like nearly 8% of your damage. But if you take away Tormented Spirits, I think it goes down to about 5. So I think on a single target, like maybe on a raid boss, you might go Auspicious Spirits because Shadowy Apparition still does a good chunk of damage, right? I think it's 4th. But I know that I'd probably be 2nd if I played Auspicious Spirits. But yeah, I'm enjoying Tormented more. Yeah, Yama, like definitely try Tormented because if you go Tormented Spirits, you'll get more Yogg Sarons. So at the minute, the way that I've kind of been feeling is when I've got a Yogg Saron up, by the time that ends, I'm already on like 16, 17 stacks. Oh yeah, like classic rotation's much harder. Oh, you were Scouser 40? I didn't know that. Whereabouts? If you don't mind me asking and you don't mind doxing yourself. St. Helens? My guy? Yeah, so Psychic Link is weird. So Psychic Link looked good, and Psychic Link is good on AoE. Like flat out, like it's 30% like spread damage, right? But the only issue with it is that on single target it doesn't help. Single target damage, this is useless, and you've got to bear in mind in any key you've got bosses, you've got single target damage, you've got mobs that you need to focus down. So if you swap out Psychic Link for Dark Evangelism, you get 10% increased damage on your dots, like periodic shadow effects. So all your dots gain 10% increased damage. So that 10% is on AoE, single target, everything. So this enables you to have a damage increase on all aspects of damage, and this one like limits you to just AoE. I was playing Psychic Link, but I swapped it to Dark Evangelism, and I've noticed like 10% extra damage on a boss is huge. So definitely give it a go if you haven't already. Well, that's a gear thing as well, Yama, right? You said your gear is quite low, so... Honestly, I really wouldn't worry about like damage at the minute. Just try and get some gear for questing and getting yourself like leveled up for Dragonflight. And just focus on practicing the rotation. Yeah, so at first I understood a lot of the people's frustration in regards to the rotation single target wise with Mind Spike, but people were like randomly just saying that the AoE damage and like the AoE playstyle was crap as well because they've missed out on Serum Nightmare. But I genuinely think if you've enjoyed Serum Nightmare, then you've got Stockholm Syndrome or something, because you're remembering the damage and you think the damage is good, not the single. Using Serum Nightmare was atrocious because you could only get 3-4 casts off, right? Because it was tied to Mindseer. Maybe if it was its own spell, or they made Mindseer indefinite with a talent, maybe it would have been nice. But the fact that you had to recast it was just horrible. I like the more interactive style of having your dots up and then getting Mind Devourer procs, and you know, that feels nicer. The current iteration of AoE Shadow Priest feels nicer to play, hands down. People may just not like it because it's not as much instant damage as what it was. Which, you know, I mean, it's their prerogative. Yeah, I agree with that, Yama, as well. That is true. You could be fighting for a hell of a long time and not get a pro. But then some other times you could do a big pull and get like 3 procs in a row, right? It's just the trade-off. Every spec has a little bit of niche AoE, burst to it with a proc. Well, we got a BM Hunter, we might be in for a bit of stuff dying too quick. Hunters have it so nice, man. Like, sometimes I wake up and I just think, I wish I mained a Hunter. I just think it must be such a nice life, to like have one spec that's always going to be good. And I know I play Warlock, but like, Beast Mastery is always good in raids. Always. After this dungeon, Yama, I can give you the weak orders if you'd like. It may take a bit of tweaking though, because some of these abilities are just gone in Dragonflight. But yeah, I can definitely send you something after this dungeon if you'd like. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though, I've accepted the fact that Hunters are always going to be OP. Like, I accept that. No? Oh, are we not allowed? Okay, like, can I not get the stat bar? Yeah, I can.
Assistance protocol activated.
Yeah, I can. Well, this guy means business, man. Nice little proc right off the bat. We're going to go into a Halo, get rid of our stacks, another proc. If you guys would rather see healing instead of overall damage, by the way, I can swap it to healing. Completely up to you guys. Yeah, survival's always a bit iffy. Some people like it, like the current iteration. Some people wish that it still had Black Arrow and Explosive Arrow from back in WoD. It's just people change their mind all the time, I think. I really enjoyed playing Survival Hunter in Hellfire Citadel with Black Arrow and Explosive Arrow. That was nice, but I understand the change to it as well. It's getting a bit dry. See, even at this point on 3 targets, the Insanity Gen isn't bad. Like, just from dots and stuff. Definitely wish they got a proc on those little lads. That would have been really tasty. This is what we like. This guy's a gamer. I'm gonna try and keep Shadow Crash just for the next pull. Oh. Just for the next pull. Maybe I'll get kicked, who knows. Actually, I'm not, just because dots are running out and yeah. I didn't want to have to use my Void Eruption just to keep dots up then. So I thought it'd probably just better just use the Shadow Crash, since that'll be off cooldown a lot quicker than a Void Eruption will. It is nice to kind of explain the gameplay as I go. I don't normally do that. However, sometimes, We avoid Eruption and Monstrosity though, because it's going to live for a while. So even I could get away with being not gripped there, did work.
System restored. Moving to contamination site.
Gotta make sure to use up the Shadow with Death procs there as well when you got your Mind Bender up, it's just 3 damage. Yeah, no worries, like, a lot of people ask for it in the videos, but I just don't do it because in a lot of my videos, right, I do the voiceover. No, like, not for any weird reason, right, it's just that when I do my voiceovers in my Premiere Pro app, my voice sounds a lot better than it does now. So, like, if I just do, like, the full uncut video, right, of my, like, comms during the stream, my voice sounds horrendous, and I don't know why. I am getting a new microphone soon, so that'll help, but I think you guys would rather just have a voiceover where I don't sound as scouse and I don't sound like as, you know, fucked. Because I'm pretty sure, like, Ferdy can attest to the fact that hardly anybody that isn't from Liverpool struggles to understand, like, a Liverpudlian accent. Thanks for the sub, Flavio. And I just don't think you guys deserve to go through trying to understand my accent when I, like, speak quite quick as well. Because it just gets worse when you start speaking fast. I'm glad you have a good hearing then, because even some English people struggle to understand Liverpool accents. I think I do subconsciously try and make it sound posher than what it is, because I do understand that it can be hard, but I'll take it. New Yorker can understand. It's so bizarre to me still, like, the thing about streaming. I still find it so weird that people from, like, literally all over watch. Because I think I was looking at, like, my YouTube statistics, and, like, when I'm streaming and stuff, I get quite a few people from Brazil watching, and that's just mad to me. Like, I don't know. Like, why? Do you know what I mean? But then I guess if there's nobody, like, that does the content in, like, their native language and stuff, I don't know. It's just mad. I love it and I appreciate it, but yeah. Hello, Triple. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Sounds cringe saying that as well. I don't know if I'll keep doing that. We have everything for this. Yeah, so Public is like a huge, like, Shadow Priest guy. Like, he's like obviously the founder of it all. Like, he knows a lot about the spec. But the thing is as well, he's like one of the theory crafters. He tests everything, and of course a lot of the testing that he does on, like, the PTR and stuff can't be turned into videos. So his video gaps are quite large. But when he does bring out a video, it is a banger. But yeah, I mean, I'd be lying, right, if I said that's not one of the reasons that I did it, right? People like watching my videos because they're out a little bit more often than Public's. It's obvious, right? Like, some people may not like the videos, but they watch it because they want to see Shadow Priest content a little bit more regularly. Thanks, Jay Bronson. I really appreciate it. I think you're like one of the first people that actually started watching my videos and commenting and stuff, so thank you so much. even like now, like in like the past month or so that I've been doing it, it's like it's came on so much. Nah, I know there's not any. I know there's nothing wrong with that, especially like the fact that like I own it as well, right?
Assistance protocol activated.
Like it'd be a bit different if I tried to like play it off as if that wasn't the case, right? And like I was, you know, amazing content creator and stuff, but it's not. Like my videos are so like badly edited because I don't have a clue what I'm doing, but I'm learning as I go along. But no, it's crazy. Like I never really did videos. I uploaded a few videos of like my Affliction Warlock, like Jordan Shadowlands, like in keys and stuff. But that was just because I enjoyed playing it. Like I didn't really expect anything. But then I just thought, like, I play Shadow a lot. There's not really many content creators. Like, why not? You know. I'm so glad I did it though. Like even now, it's crazy to say, but like World of Warcraft, like content creators, it's hard to like do videos and stuff because that's not the like thing that the average YouTuber wants to see, right? But like it's crazy to like look at my YouTube channel now and just think like, you know, I'm what, like I'm like 400 subs off monetization, which is, it's very hard to do as like a like content creator. I'm glad to read stuff like that. Like reading stuff like that actually makes it worth it, you know. Thanks for the subs, guys. I really appreciate it. But yeah, no, honestly, it's that's one of the main reasons that like I do it, because so many people have came to me and said, you know, they were literally like on borderline quitting, and then they seen a video of like somebody that actually enjoys playing Shadow Priest, and it does, you know, it does stuff to you. Makes it a bit emotional. Yeah, it's I guess that just fell into by 4 laps then, Bronson, right? But no, guys, again, like literally just for everybody watching, I just want to say like I really appreciate it. It does mean a lot. Like even though like quite a few people don't talk, like that I'm fine with that. You know, it's just having like people watching and enjoying. It's one of those things, right, where when I'm making videos and stuff, I'm constantly like thinking, you know, you don't want to be that guy that's like, I hate like saying like sub and stuff like the end of each video, but I don't think there's a YouTuber that likes saying it. But it's one of those combos, like if everybody that watched the video subbed, I like already would be like, you know, be able to like probably do this like semi full time. Which again, it's just like to even like fathom that, right? Like that's crazy. Like for an average person like me that just likes playing WoW, to be able to even like contemplate that is, it you know, it's crazy. I know that's the only word that I'm saying, but that's the only word that can kind of describe it. But yeah, I hope people watching like that are interested in playing Shadow, but they've been kind of put off by either the Priest Discord or, you know, the general consensus that Priest isn't going to be good. I hope this like encourages like some of you guys to reconsider, because at the end of the day, Priest is viable. Priest is going to be viable. You know, there's no reason to like have the doom and gloom. No, Jay Bronson. So when I was like progressing, like Sylvanas and like stuff like that, Jailer, like, you know, I stream quite a bit on Twitch, and like you get like subs and stuff, but all my subs were like friends or like guildies and stuff, so it's a bit like different, right? Like, you know, they're doing it because they want to see me succeed, like, but they've known me for a while. And then there's this like there's like a joint community thing on YouTube that YouTube are doing, which is the equivalent to a Twitch sub, but I've not turned it on because it's just, at the minute I'm doing YouTube for fun, right? It's like a hobby, it's a little side project, you know. I want to get good at editing, as well as, you know, actually branching out and trying to like become a relatively consistent content creator. Which, you know, it's always the goal. Like, people say they do it for a hobby and stuff, but the reality of it is, if somebody starts uploading regularly, it's because they want to do this as, like, you know, almost a job, right? And again, that's really bloody hard for, like, a World of Warcraft player to do, because World of Warcraft's always pretty much going to end up being the same game, right? You know, you do raids, you do keys, you know, do dungeons. Like, the content doesn't differ. You know, you've got the variety streamers and variety YouTubers that can play any new game that comes out, and, you know, their viewers will watch it regardless. WoW's not like that. You know, WoW's got a lot of people, and especially like the priest community that we've got going now, they're pretty hardcore fans. You know, like, they'll always want to watch priest, which, you know, it's lucky. You know, people enjoy watching the stuff that I put out, hopefully, and I've had a few criticisms, but that's literally part and parcel, right? Like that was always going to happen because I'm new. You know, people don't know who I am. People that haven't seen my videos, you know, they go into the priest Discord, and quite a few people have, like, slated, but there's also been, like, a massive bit of, like, positive feedback as well. You know, it's nice to see people linking my videos in the priest Discord. I just threw that. Maybe I should pay more attention, right, instead of talking. But it's nice. It's a really nice feeling when people are, like, asking questions in the priest Discord, and then my videos are getting linked. It's a really, like, wholesome feeling, and I hope that stays like that, you know, because that's a massive part of why I do what I do. It's to educate people and to answer people's questions. And yeah, of course, Yama, like, that's the thing though. Like, I accept that. I know that's going to happen, so that already makes my job 10 times easier, right? The moment you accept that as, like, a thing that's going to happen, you know, you just end up being a better person. Hey Heza, so I actually use a Plater profile. It was Atrocities, but I've edited it to, like, kind of suit Dots a little bit better, but it is mostly Atrocities, so I don't really feel comfortable putting out the Plater, because I do subscribe to Atrocity, and, you know, he does most of the work. So I would say, if you do want the Plater profile, maybe consider subbing to Atrocity. He's a one of Liquid's streamers and raiders, right? Really cool player. You know, he's playing Shadow Priest going into Dragonflight 2, so definitely give him a look. I would share it, but it's just not fair on the guy, right? Like, he put in quite a bit of work to make it, you know. What I will say is, though, going into Dragonflight, I am changing my UI a decent bit. So I do like making my own UIs. The only reason I use Atrocities UI is because I took a break from WoW, and when I came back, all my stuff was gone, so I needed, like, a solid platform to, like, go off. But I am looking at doing my own UI again, so if I did ever do my own UI, I'd make my own Plater and stuff, and make my own week orders, just so it's more accessible for the people asking. Because I do get a lot of comments on my YouTube videos asking what's the Plater, what's the week orders and stuff, but in a lot of the cases, the Plater and stuff I took from Atrocity, the UI I took from Atrocity. But if I was to do it myself, you know, I'd make that all available and stuff for you guys. It's no worries. Again, I'm sure if I asked Atrocity and said, like, the Atrocity's main income, like, you know, World First Radio gets paid for that shit and stuff as well, but a lot of the reason that people sub to Atrocity is for his UI. And, you know, for me to, like, kind of just give it out, it's just not fair. It's not good taste, for one, but I wouldn't like that if I put in that effort and then somebody did it to me. I'm sure you guys understand. And I'm bad at the video game. Yikes. Honestly, Yama, it's literally just Tormented Spirits. When you've got dots up on that many targets, and, you know, you're constantly pumping in the Void Eruptions to keep it going, and you're the Mind Searing, it's crazy, right? Oh, I'm so sorry. You know what? There's a week order for it, and Details has the same thing. I'll turn it on for the next key. I'm so sorry. You've been asking for so long as well. I promise. Like, I'll remember, but, like, literally as soon as this boss is dead, I'll put it on. I do forget how helpful that is to somebody that's like trying to get into the spec and just get a general idea to seeing what I press in an AoE rotation and stuff. Oh shit, Bronson man, like, oh man. Now I feel like you set me up by asking that question, and now I feel bad for saying no. Thank you so much, dude. You really didn't have to, but thank you. It means a lot. It does. You're such a nice guy. Like, first commenter, probably first, like, subscriber. That's, thank you so much. Like, we came full circle now, you know. Hey, Hamad. So pretty much, yeah, so you will not be taking Man Spike in Mythic Plus. Like, it just makes it all, like, a bit more worthwhile, you know. It does mean a lot. So, the Mind Spike side of the build, it's 1, 2, 3 talent points that you'd have to pick. And it's 3 wasted talent points and keys because you would be probably missing out on Mind Bender going down your Shiraj. So it's not based on crits. So they took out the crit side of it, Mr. Blue Sky. So obviously it increases the chance of shadowy apparitions, but in the past, any crit that you made on an ability would spawn 2 ghosts. So I'm not playing with a lot of crit at the minute. I've got 26%. Crit build's kind of gone. You don't really need crit. You don't take this talent for like the critical strike, increase the chance to 10%. You just take it for the initial 5%. The fact that, you know, you've got Misery, you've got Shadow Crash, and this applies both debuffs, and it requires both debuffs. It just works out perfectly. Right, let me get this weak order for the GCD thing. Hey, so Shadow's buffs, I'm not going to say it wasn't needed, right, because buffs are always nice, but it came out to about 7% overall buff for the spec. But the 7% damage is quite nice, right? Both are pretty good. You'll probably end up playing Auspicious Spirits in single target or more single target oriented content, but you'll probably end up picking Tormented Spirits in AoE, Mythic Plus, stuff like that. Oh, thank you so much, Jay Bronson. I really appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your night / day and take care. I'll see you next time, dude. Thank you so much again. Thank you so much, Hamad. I'm gonna keep trying putting it out, you know. I'm just gonna get this weak order guy for the spell track. I like details as one, but so I personally would say no to that Hamad. I don't really see a time where Void Torrent's going to be usable in Mythic Plus. By all means, though, you try it out, you give it a go. It might end up being good, but from my testing and what I've seen, I personally wouldn't take it. But again, Dragonflight means that there's a lot of choice going on. You know, if you want to take something, you take it. You won't be really, affecting anyone with it. We're going to be going into a 22 Grimrail team, so if you're interested in watching that, just keep watching. Might just do the details one. Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know what it looks like. I'm going to have a quick look now. Because I've not really used it before, so let's just have a quick look. Yeah, that's alright, isn't it? Maybe let's try and make it a bit bigger. Don't really know. Where do you guys want me to put it so you can see it? Just maybe above this. That should be alright, right? How do I... Oh, look it. Click on the one on the top right. Honestly, Thefty, give it a go. I'm really enjoying it. Quite a few people that I've played with are enjoying it. I think it's really worth the look. Oh, okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, we'll keep that then. I'll move the tooltip though, so you guys don't have to worry about the tooltip going over. Yeah, it'll be nice to get into a little bit of higher key. Grimwell 22 really gives us the opportunity to see things. See how it's gonna scale with higher target health. Oh yeah. I mean, you can see the icons here, right? Oh, I mean, you've got the icons on the right, and I guess it doesn't really matter unless I'm doing it too quickly. But we can change it as we go into the next key, and I'll make sure that it gets done. Should be able to get this going in just a second. It's only for the wait team. I know it's a bit of a wait in between keys, but it's not my key, so we're just waiting for the guy to fill it up, you know. That's literally the same team as last time. How much damage did my trinket do in the last dungeon? 4%? Bloody hell. Let's get this going. Of course you can. These are the talents that I'm playing for this dungeon at the minute. I'll show them again when the loading screen's over. Quite generic. Built down in the right, take Mind Devourer into Yogg-Saron, and we're just playing Mindbender here. Although going into Dragonflight, you may end up playing Yusharaj as a talent generally. I probably could have also just waited there for the Shadow Crash. I maybe could have got all 8 targets in, but it's neither here nor there at this point. No worries. If that wasn't a long enough of a look, because I know it wasn't, but we kind of got into the key, just give us a shout and I can look at them again for you in just a second. I know it was quite a quick glance, so. How's everybody doing anyway? Is everyone alright? Talking to all the lurkers that aren't talking, they're just watching. You probably have me muted as well, to be fair, so. Even care about you guys, you're lucky. Oh, I didn't move the tooltip. What one? After this guy's dead, I'll move the tooltip. Sorry about that, team. Unless the tank's going to chain pull, which he is. Yeah, so it's definitely going to change going into Dragonflight. None of like the major ones are just going to be the capstones. It's just the fact that going into Dragonflight, you're going to have to take Inescapable Torment because you no longer have Shadowflame Prism to use, and yeah. But generally, it's probably not going to change too much. I'm going to send those CDs here. I know it's like boss soon, but it's not tyrannical, and these guys have high health, so. I'd probably be trolling if I didn't send CDs here, if I'm being honest. Just because I know some people are like, oh, it's the boss soon, why are you using CDs? And the Druid's damage here is a little bit inflated because we pulled the boss and reset the boss, so. Just because I know people, oh, Druids are overpowered. You know what I mean. A little bit inflated on the Druid damage. Oh, I didn't see the slam there. Sneaky. Just moving that tooltip for you guys. Sorry about that. You couldn't really see the rotation thing, you know. I know I was saying before about how I wish that they kept in like the max range iteration of Halo, like getting a little bit more min-max damage in. But it's kind of nice being able to use it like when you're stood in melee and not lose anything out on it. Well, you know. I have to have something to complain about, right? No, Arod, not at all. Kind of the opposite, actually. So, Shadow's CDs are all lined up a little bit differently. So, you've got Mindbender, which is a minute. If you don't play Mindbender, you've got Shadow Fiend, which is 3 minutes. You've got Void Eruption, which is 2 minutes. Shadow Crash, which is 30 seconds. Dark Ascension's a minute. And generally, Shadow does pretty well without having CDs up, because it just scales well. That's kind of just one of the things the Shadow does at the minute. So, the more targets you've got up, Shadow Priest actually isn't that reliant on cooldowns to do big damage, as long as the mobs are living and they're up for an extended period of time. Shadow does pretty well, outside the cooldowns. Of course, having cooldowns makes everything feel better and you'll do more damage 100%, but it's not reliant on cooldowns. You don't have to worry about that. But the spec and the rotation does change a decent bit when cooldowns are up, I will give you that. But it's far from reliant on cooldowns. In Mythic Plus, right, I suppose I should probably iterate that. That's specifically in Mythic Plus that I mean that. Because I know that if I don't say it in Mythic Plus, people are going to like take it out of context and stuff. And oh, Shadow Priest are perfect in raids as well. Oh, I ran right into that. I thought I was dodging it. No, 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 no. They've just pulled as well. Gotta get in on the action. Please, Zalatoth, give me a proc. Just one proc. 'Tis all I ask. Feels bad, man. No procs on a pull like that. What can you do? Oh, right at the end. Oh, it's okay, we save it. We save it. Oh, the back got pulled as well. We take these, team. These are some of the wins. Look at all these ghosts. We're about to pop off now. Look at the ghosts. Let's get another Mind Seer off with a proc, maybe. Here we go. All the ghosts. Oh. Okay, Shadow Crash again, so we don't really have to fully extend the dots manually. Oh, this is it, team. This is the dream right here. All damage aside, yeah. The aesthetics, so pleasing. Just a shame that Sanguine just heals them all back up again straight away. See, that was a pull without cooldowns as well. So, we're doing decent damage sustained on all those targets without cooldowns, really. That's, the proof is in the pudding, as they say. Whoever they are. Don't know whoever came up with that, but it is. Ghosties are cool. I don't know why they took them away from other people. Kind of sad now. Because I know the satisfaction of having all them ghosts, but now the people in my group don't. Can't win. I'm gonna save Shadow Crash because I think we're pushing this quite quick because it's not tyrannical. Yeah, Mr. Blue Sky, so the way that I see it, right, is that at the minute it costs more than Devouring Plague, which is a bit iffy because Devouring Plague costs, you know, 50 and then you've got Mind Seer, but Mind Seer does tick 4 times, so. With the fact that it ticks 4 times, it's kind of like understandable, right, because you're getting 4 ticks of damage, and then chances are you're going to be getting that insanity back in AoE. The frustrating thing is when it gets to Dragonflight and then you're going to Mind Seer on single target to extend your dots. That's going to be when the real fun comes in, you know. Because at the minute in Dragonflight, because you've got Mental Decay, and you're going to be taking Mind Devourer for Yogg-Saron, you use the free procs on Mind Seer because Mind Seer extends the dots by 1 second. That's going to be the fun part of it, you know. Got to weave that in somehow. But you'll get used to it. Hopefully, right? Yeah, I think everybody wishes, you know, that you could have a little bit less expensive Mind Seer. Oh, he actually brings the targets to me. Oh, what a nice man. We appreciate that. Now we bring the bus over. Good night, Snoo, man. Thanks for watching and chilling. Hope you have a good night, dude. Definitely hit me up, Snoo, if you're going to be playing Dragonflight. Yeah, so it sounds like that, right? But at the minute in AoE and Dragonflight, we're not even looking at taking N'Zoth because Insidious Eye is kind of pointless. So you're forced into Yogg-Saron because of Mind Devourer, and then you're kind of forced into your Shiraj because you've got to take Inescapable Torment anyway because you don't have Shadowflame Prism Legendary active. So the general consensus is if you're forced into taking Inescapable Torment anyway, you may as well go for your Shiraj and power your Mindbender. But for lower keys, I think 100% lower keys you'll end up taking Eidolons off just because things die so quickly. But of course, I mean, everything's subject to change, right? Anything could be changed and buffed and nerfed, and you know how it goes. Big damage to him. That was a nice pull. We take them. Kind of fell off a bit at the end, but I think pretty much everything got dotted up with Shadow Crash. There's a few that I had to pick up, but a Void Eruption lining up with PI and Potion. That's a pretty good key. Can't complain. Hello, Dooku. How's it going? Let's have a quick look at this. I mean, we did get a lot of shadowy apparitions off in this run, literally just because of that train pull. But, like, for shadowy apparitions to be second on your damage when you're not even playing Auspicious Spirit, that's just crazy, right? Like, 3 chests and a 22. And having Auspicious Spirit be second on your damage when, bearing in mind, your 3 chests and a 22 packs aren't living for very long if you're doing that. Hey Ruhi, so this isn't actually my UI, this is Atrocity's UI. He's a Limit Raider, or Liquid Raider I guess. He's a big streamer, and he actually gives away his UI to subscribers. Of course I can do you, mate. Ruhi, so if you would like the UI, you're probably going to have to subscribe to Atrocity, since I wouldn't like somebody giving out my UI for free, you know. Yeah, so Dooku, this is pretty much what I'm playing at the minute. If you just want to take a second just to have a look, just so I can get some explaining in. So, completely avoiding Mind Spike because it makes the dungeon quite bloated, in my opinion. You don't really have a lot of options because you're going to constantly press Mind Spike with the procs. Void Eruption's already a build. We take Void Eruption because when you're doing big pulls, you need the Void Eruption to get the mastery on all of your targets. You want to be extending with Void Bolt so you don't have to manually recast all the time. You've got Mental Decay, which extends your duration of all your dots with Mind Seer. This paired with Shadowy Insight to make sure you're getting more Mind Blasts. And that also goes into Mind Devourer, because with Mind Devourer your Mind Blast has a 20% chance to make your next Devouring Plague or Mind Seer, costing them Insanity, which is the biggest thing, which forces you into idly Yogg-Saron. You're playing Yogg-Saron now, you're probably going to play it in Dragonflight. And whilst idling is off, looks like it is a Mythic plus talent. It is. Doesn't matter what anyone says. It's a Mythic plus talent, but it's locked behind single target talents. Yes, Dooku, you do, because Yogg-Saron is probably your biggest single target gain. Idol of Cthulhu's a bit iffy, so it does generate good Insanity, but that's the only reason you take it. It doesn't do any damage. But if you look at my damage breakdown, Think from Beyond 4.6 and 2.8. So it's doing, what, 8% of your damage in an overall dungeon. So Necrolord, you don't take Psychic Link and Keys because whilst it's a 30% damage increase on Cleave, you gain nothing on single target bosses. So even in the higher keys, even if it's fortified, bosses still take a bit of time. So I swapped out Psychic Link for Dark Evangelism, which increases your dot damage by 10% on AoE and single target. So while Psychic Link only affects your AoE damage and your cleave damage, Dark Evangelism actually helps out in the single target department as well. So Psychic Link is a Mythic plus talent, it looks really good, but you gain nothing on single target. So more so on Tyrannical Weeks, but you can do it on Fortified as well. I just prefer playing Dark Evangelism because it increases the damage of all my dots by 10% throughout the entire dungeon. And as you can see, they're already quite high. What's that, 15, like 25% of my damage overall. You can play Psychic Link if you want to try it. Like, I could play it in this Gambit I'm about to do an 18 Gambit if you want me to play it. But a lot of the time, when you're getting into these keys and things aren't living that long, you use up your Mind Blast quite quick. But on especially the larger pulls, you're generating enough Insanity to just go into the Mind Seer straight away. So this talent buffs your mindset, well, buffs your dots. But obviously, dots tick quicker when screams are fixed as well. So I'm kind of mentally preparing myself to be able to play screams and have everything work. But if you'd like me to play Psychic Link in this Gambit, I can. It's only an 18, but I will do what the people want. If you want a Psychic Link, I can play Psychic Link. Yeah, Necrolord, I can try Psychic Link. It doesn't really make a difference to the build, so. What's a link to Wowhead, Mr. Blue Sky? Oh, did you link something? Sorry, I don't actually have YouTube up at the minute. So let me have a little look at that. Oh, I can't see it. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy knowing that Mind Spike won't pull ahead in AoE. It's just not going to happen. So the single target build that I would run, is this for raids that you're mainly interested in, Dooku? I do rule, 1 second. There you are. So a single target build generally just probably consists of bam 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 bam. So it's kinda hard at the minute. No raid. Pure boss build. So literally for Tyrannical, you would probably just play the exact same as what I've got now. 1 second. Yeah, so the thing is with Tyrannical, you still play Yogg-Saron, you still play oh, okay, I'll have a look at it, Mr. Blue Skies. Give me 1 sec. I don't know why it's not letting you link stuff. Is it this one? Is this one that you play? Because the only thing is, right, it's this is the issue. Not having Mind Devourer and Mythic Plus at the minute is an issue. Because you don't have the instant AoE damage burst in what you would have otherwise. That's the only thing that puts me off playing N'Zoth at the minute. Because if you don't have Mind Devourer, you don't have any access to burst damage. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Robert. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm still playing Mind Devourer Conduit. Thanks for the sub, Paul. Yeah, I'm still playing it because I honestly don't know why. I know it doesn't work. I just don't know why I'm not playing it. I don't know why I'm playing it. I guess I just couldn't be bothered going to swap it. No, they don't stack. But Yeah, I mean, I wish it was Mr. Blue Sky, but it's just, it's locked behind single target talents. That's the issue. Anything locked behind single target talents for AoE, just, it's rough. Cthulhu's good, Taylor, for single target insanity gen. Doesn't do any damage. I mean, it does damage, but it does very little damage. You only really take Cthulhu on single target because you struggle for insanity generation. I have done a dungeon with Death Speaker and Bane of Death, but it just feels bad. It's hard to explain, because if you're playing your Shiraj build with an Escapeful Torment or Shadowflame Prism, you want to Shadow Word Death on the opener. Yeah, Mindseer is huge. Oh, it's my key. Rip. Yeah, if you're playing Inescapable Torment or Shadowflame Prism, you want to Shadow Word Death on the pull, but you can't with Pains of Death and Death Speaker. You have to wait. I mean, this Warlock's just gonna shit all over my damn. Oh no! Oh no. Team. I messed up my talents quite badly. Oh no. Oh, this is no bueno, team. 1 second. Yeah, my action bars were messed up because I messed with my talents before the run, so... Oy vey. Ignore that, team, ignore. Ah. My action bars all got a bit funked up. Right, let's start everything up again. No, it's not your fault. Like, my action bars just got messed up because I locked in the talent and I shouldn't have. And not you at all, don't worry. Right, let me do this and then we can talk to the stream again. Sorry about that, stream. I got a bit fucked up. I believe when you take Mindflay Insanity, it actually ends up working with Psychic Link Necro. Yeah, I know I need to do PI macro, but in raids I'm always used to just mouse over in my power infusion, so I've kind of just stuck with it over the years. I know it's a weird take, but it is what it is. This tank's I do stream on Twitch, Dooku. I'm actually streaming on Twitch right now as well. I'm doing dual streams, so I've actually been streaming on both platforms. But on Twitch, my name's different. On Twitch, my name is Scouse, by the way. I'll put a link into the chat in just a second. The only reason I started streaming on YouTube instead was because a lot of my viewer base was on YouTube. It's a lot easier if you go from Twitch to YouTube, because you can have your followers and subs like go over. But starting on YouTube, it's kind of hard to, you know, go from YouTube to Twitch, so. And Twitch is doing some weird stuff at the minute. Honestly, Robert, I'd agree. Like, Shadow, at the minute, like, as it stands right now, is in a pretty solid spot damage-wise. Some people don't like the single target rotation, and that's fair, because Mind Spike is not the most fun ability in the game. But at the same time, like, if you just want to do keys, or, you know, you just want to play the game how you want to play it, you can play any build you want. You don't have to play Mind Spike. I was saying to the stream before, there's actually single target builds without Mind Spike that are like barely 3% difference to like the best build, you know? So it's completely competitive, like, you can play it. In for some big damage here, because we got 2 procs back to back. And another one. Hey, that's a good RNG, that team. And another one. Yeah, so we got buffed by 7% already, Robert. I don't know if you know that. We got buffed by 7% overall with all the 10 and 15%. It equals like 7.2% or something. So we've already had our big buff. But that buff kind of just put us on par with the other classes, right? That's what I took away from it. Get on Mindbender out. Gotta constantly move for this guy. I keep throwing boulders at me head. It's not on. Somebody needs to tell him to pack it in. Fuming. Oh, I love seeing the trinket go through the trash as well. It's such a nice feeling. So at this point, I generally end up saving my insanity for the next pull just so I can mind seer straight away on a big pack. Oh wow, yeah, that's a long time to play Priest. I'm always really interested when people tell me they've played like a class for so long. Because I've played pretty much every single spec in the game and I re-roll like it's fucking a new hot meal. Like literally the amount of times you've had like a hot meal, I've probably re-rolled that much. Wait. He says invis. And I don't do it. It's because when I'm looking at the stream, I don't really end up looking at chat like in the bottom left in game, so I should have known though. Yeah, 18 years is a long time to play one class, guy. Not a bad thing though, it means like, you know, you get into it. Hey Wavy Mango, people ask this all the time, it's not my UI. Yeah, Shadow just kinda screwed me. Yeah, Mango, I'm afraid it's not actually my UI. I normally make my own UIs, but I had like a bit of a break from the game. So when I came back and I started raiding again, I just needed a functional UI. So the UI I use is actually Atrocities. He's a Liquid, a Race to World First raider. And you can actually get his UI from his Twitch by subbing. Again, people ask me to like pass it out all the time. I wouldn't like it if somebody gave up my UI, right, if it was a form of income. So, yeah, I wouldn't really feel comfortable sharing his UI. But I can definitely send you a link to his Twitch if you want to sub to him and then get his UI. See, I've been Warlock and Shadow Priest pretty much consistently since MOP. Yeah, it's a very clean UI. I do change it all the time. I always make a new UI like right before a new expansion, like for myself. But when you just come back to the game and you've not played in a while and you want something that's really functional, Atrocities is just nice. Yeah, he's a giga gamer. He's actually playing Shadow Priest and Dragonflight, Robert, if you didn't know. He's playing Hunter and Priest. Yeah, he switched to Warrior for Shadowlands. Has he actually switched to Warrior for Dragonflight as well? Oh, no, you mean he switched to Warrior this expansion? Hey, Slippy. Yeah, so the thing is, it's the apparition speed would be nice, but the apparition, it still gives you insanity even if they die. On this character, not very high, my guy. On this character, my playtime's only 90 days. On my Warlock, it's like 160 or 70. Like, I don't have a lot of playtime, but the time that I played the game, I've been very efficient with. Like, yeah. Yeah, I know we went Warrior for the World first in Shadowlands, but he's actually going back to Shadow Priest for Dragonflight. He said it on stream a few days ago, so it's pretty nice to be able to have, like, because he always, like, obviously specializes his UI for his main, and then he just fits it around the other classes, so it'll be nice. Yeah, my playtime isn't very exciting, I'm afraid. It's quite low compared to some people. Yeah, see, 650. I think so the only reason I really got into World of Warcraft was because my dad raided quite hardcore in Wrath, and on his Hunter, like, by the time it got to, like, Legion, he had, like, almost the same as you, like 600 odd days, 900 days. It was very impressive. I know what you mean though when you're saying targets die too quick and the apparitions look a bit but it's not that bad, I don't think. Thanks for the sub, Johan. Hope it's going well. So, Louis, I'm really happy with Shadow Priest at the minute. You know, the buffs kind of brought them back up onto par with other classes. Didn't make us insane, but we had good damage anyway. A lot of the doom and gloom surrounding Shadow Priest at the minute, in my opinion, is the playstyle on single target. Nobody really likes Mind Spike. Nobody likes having it as a filler when all you do is press it when it procs. So a lot of the upset at the minute is the fact that Shadow's playstyle was a bit rough to play. But in Mythic Plus, it feels amazing. I love the Shadow Priest playstyle in Mythic Plus. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be playing it. In Raids, it's a bit different because if you want to be really competitive in Raids, yes, you are going to have to play Mind Spike. But at the same time, you don't have to. You know, it's your game. Dragonflight opens up a lot of opportunities for you to play whatever talent you want. And there are builds out there, there are talent builds out there that are single target based without Mind Spike. So if you don't like the idea to play Mind Spike, you don't have to play it. There are builds out there that means you don't have to. So by all means, if Mind Spike doesn't feel nice for you to play, talent out of it. You know, you don't need it to be competitive. It's just, if you're a cutting edge player, you might want to talent into it. Just because, you know, it is the most competitive single target talent. But nobody's, you know, nobody can shout at you for not playing it if it doesn't feel nice. It's your game, you pay the sub for it, so. %93 haste. We love that. So a lot of people aren't like mind games because Venthia Shadow Priest just wasn't played other than PvP. In Shadowlands it just wasn't played. So a lot of the Shadow Priests actively avoided it as a Covenant ability, and now Blizzard are trying to force it into the class tree just because it's good for Holy and Disc. That's why a lot of people don't like it. And then Blizzard nerfed it by 25%, like, and the damage by 50%. It's a massive change, right? A lot of people would have preferred to keep the Necrolord with the Fleshcraft and things like that, but another thing is in the class tree, it takes up 4 talents. It's not like you can't play it, right, because it's the only damage node, but it's the fact that it takes up 4 talent points just to be rubbish, kinda. Hey, Aaron. Yeah, Well, she's already got a debuff, so it double dips. You know, like the double negatives in math. If she's already got a debuff, then it double dips, so it becomes an even worse debuff. Although, I mean, I wouldn't really suggest, you know, Dot Debico. Here, she's got a well-odd sun that defends her on her all the time. Master spell these. Oh, I've just mind seared onto one target because he was out of the pack. That's rough. Yeah, you double dip. It's like a dip dap. How did raid go, mate? I mean, I messaged Co earlier because PayPal have fucked up my shit. But other than that, he just told me he was solo healing. I haven't heard anything else since then. But if it was embarrassing, he's probably not going to tell me, is he? So. Oh, he told me that you 2-healed Kel'Thuzad. Just to be safe, because you got there with no death, so you thought you may as well just 2-heal it. Yeah, it's impressive though, man. Very nicely done. Yeah, I fully agree. I fully agree, Necro. It's it does feel rough because you're kind of picking which one to pick, but both of them are fillers. It's not like you, like you're saying. It'd be better if they just picked one filler to keep and then just told us what they wanted us to play, right? But Blizzard aren't going to let that happen, are they? Hey Pearly, so going into Dragonflight, it's looking at the minute for Mythic Plus at least, you're going to be taking Adley Shiraj alongside Adley Yogg-Saron. Just because you're already taking Inescapable Torment to get your Shadowflame Prison back, so you may as well pick up the buff with your Shiraj, and then Yogg-Saron just does too much damage anyway. And the fact it cleaves and stuff, it's just too good to not take. So you're looking at your Shiraj and Yogg-Saron. Yeah, I fully understand what you mean, Necro. It would be nice if they just, you know, picked one, but it's one of those things we've kind of got to do ourselves. But at the minute, as it stands, Mind Flay is your filler, and Mind Spike is just a proc. Like, you only cast it on the proc. But that's why some people are just opting to not play it, because it's just not engaging, it's not fun, and it feels bad having to use 2 fillers in your rotation. Personally, in raids, if it turns out to be best, of course, I will play it because I'm a competitive player, you know. I want to be topping with the rest. Hey, Alexander, so N'Zoth is really good for Mythic Plus. N'Zoth is really good, but it's the fact it's locked behind single target talents. It's locked behind Malediction, Void Torrent, and Insidious Ire, which are all single target talents. So in Mythic Plus, if you could just get away with just taking N'Zoth and not having to take single target talents, amazing. But as it stands, you can't give up Mind Devourer. Like, you cannot give up this talent. So you're already forced into picking Adley Yogg-Saron, which isn't a bad thing. It does good damage. So, you know, you can't complain. It does do decent damage as it stands. But it's the fact that you've got to take the single target talent to get to N'Zoth. That's where the trouble is. That's not too bad considering at the start of the dungeon we had a lot of issue with the pulls and stuff. What last talent are you going to take for leveling on the pre-patch? So do you mean as we're leveling up, what talent am I going to take? Definitely going down the left hand side with Idly Ishraj. Because as soon as we hit a certain level, Shadow Flame Prism stops working, which is a big chunk of our AoE damage, and that's going to help a lot when leveling. So you automatically have to put 2 points into this talent to gain Shadow Flame Prism back. So I'll definitely be going down the left hand side. Thanks for the sub, man. Really appreciate that. I appreciate the sub, dude. Looks like we're going back to Grimrail, guys. Let's have a look at Psychic Link though. Psychic Link did 4% in that dungeon. Oh no, it's okay, Alexander. So the thing is, yeah, you lose out on your Shadow Flame Prison Legendary. So you have to take Inescapable Torment. It is Shadow Flame Prism, but it's just named differently for some reason. We're going back into Grimrail because that's the key we've got. Yeah, so sorry, Psychic Link did 4%. I think it's okay in dungeons like this where there's so much trash, so I'll probably try and keep it for Grimrail. But I think I just still prefer Dark Evangelism. It's a pretty nice coincidence, mate. I always find that weird, you know, when you think about other people's like UIs and stuff. And you think, what UI does that person use? But then, knowing that we use the same UI. Yeah, Louis, so I'm in the same mindset as you. I do think they have started listening to the player base a bit more now. Especially with the changes to... I mean, I know it's not our spec, but the changes to Disc Priest, they like completely reverted Evangelist. So, providing they do that with Shadow, I would be pretty happy as well. I don't think you can go deeper into Psychic Link, can you? I don't think you can. Although... Here we are. Let's have a look at this. Maybe this will help me. Yeah, you can't see what abilities did what damage even in the logs, because I logged this dungeon as well. But 4% isn't terrible. I don't think it'll do much more than that though. Gambit's like the biggest trash heavy dungeon that you can do. And for it to do 4% is still a bit Like it did less than a trinket. Yeah, it's not the best. Like, and I know it sounds silly, but anything less than a trinket is just a bit you know. Because my trinket did more than 4%. Well, 4.1. I think From Beyond didn't do much damage that dungeon. Thanks for the follow, dude. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I think From Beyond did very little damage that dungeon compared to usual. crazy. Just to all the people lurking in the stream as well, I'd really appreciate if you could give me a sub on YouTube if you haven't already. I do put out videos every couple of days just on the state of Shadow Priest and any changes that have gone live. I will be doing a video on the most recent Shadow Priest buffs and how it makes it feel going forward. I understand a lot of people have some reservations about like subbing on YouTube and stuff, but it does mean a lot and it does help out more than you know. I was wondering if there was anything else I could try in these dungeons, but I don't think there is. I really don't want to give up mine. Although if it doesn't stack right, I technically could play N'Zoth. Because I do have the conduit, and the conduit is working. The only thing is, though, the conduit is only what? The conduit's 10%, isn't it? 5%, 10% chance. Yeah, maybe not. Thank you, Louis, man. I really appreciate that. I don't like asking, but it does help out a lot, right? And I'm over halfway to monetization now, which would help out a lot because I spend a lot of my time doing this. And you know, I do work. I work nights and stuff. But I've got a newborn child as well. Like my wife gave birth a few weeks ago now. So just the extra little bit of income from like the hobby, you know, does help out a bit. Yeah, I would try idling us off if this wasn't as high. Thank you, Danman. Thank you so much, guys. He's a lovely, healthy little boy. Hey, Spagat. Yeah. Scouserways. Scouserways. Just for the people that don't know as well, because some people were asking if I stream on Twitch. I'm streaming on both platforms at the minute. And if you go on my YouTube homepage, there's a little icon on the dashboard that says Twitch. That'll take you straight to my Twitch as well. Yeah, so basically the changes from personal to master loot. I was never a fan of personal loot. I understood it got rid of loot drama and stuff like that. But the group loot that they've got now is essentially a soft master loot because you can still trade the gear. You know, like you don't have any loot restrictions. You can trade any piece of gear that you get. So you can still funnel gear into certain people in the raid. Besides the two idols, what will you invest the last 2 point talents into? Probably Screams, honestly. Because Screams will work with both abilities. Hopefully by that point. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, I trust he had a break, didn't he? And he had a break during Battle of the Zara Lore, I think it was, or the tier before. But yeah, probably Screams, Necro, because at that point Scream should be working for both dots. At the minute, it's still a bit fucked, so it's still not working for Shadow Web Pain. But yeah. Hello, Mitch. Big cheer. Thank you. It's nice to see the Twitch getting some thingies as well. Who needs shackle, right? It's a shame that you need PI. Yeah, I do agree with most priests though. I don't like mind games. It just doesn't feel nice. I would have rather kept something else. Thank you so much, Mitch. I really appreciate that. I will still be playing both specs going into Dragonflight, and the Warlock stuff's a bit up in the air at the minute. But I do think the majority of the content on the Warlock will be Mythic Plus and Raid, like kill vids. Because going forward as well, thank you for the follow, dude. Going forward, chances are I might end up playing Priest in Dragonflight. We still aren't sure. But I'm not as confident speaking about the Warlock specs as I am with the Shadow Priest, right? The Shadow Priest I know pretty much inside and out. But with Warlock, there's still some things that I'm not sure about, and I don't want to be giving out false information, you know, to you guys, because you guys don't deserve that. So I'll probably just reserve the Warlock content, like kill vids and high keystones and such. Thank you for the follow, Kawai. I appreciate it, and we're all dead. Because the tank doesn't know when to not pull, I guess. Feels bad, man. Ah, well. Yeah, demo's pretty nice in Keys of the Minute, especially with the buff. It's just a shame that they took away, consumption just for the Tyrant. Ah, yeah, so I don't control the delay on YouTube, but on Twitch I can set like no delay, right? But on YouTube it is just whatever YouTube sets it as. The only thing is I have control over ads on YouTube but not on Twitch, so you might end up getting ads. But again, I don't gain anything from them ads, right? Like I never press an ad button, so if you guys want less of a delay, feel free to go onto Twitch. But again, I don't control those ads. Yeah, I do a like improved master spell as well. I'll probably end up taking that in raids and stuff where there's actually things to the spell. Not too sure if I'll play it in keys though. So for single target basic, you completely can. So of course, if you want complete single target, you would generally go down the right hand side of the tree, and you get your Mind Spike, you get your Surge Darkness procs. But in Mythic Plus, that just doesn't really reflect very well, because you'll end up missing out on your Mind Seer and your free Mind Seer procs and stuff like that. But the WoW head builds are a bit iffy, I'm not gonna lie. So they kind of try and keep it. Bearing in mind, I love the Shadow Priest community generally, other than the Doom and Gloom, and I know the Dirty Crafters put in a lot of effort, but they assume everybody wants to be doing the most damage, right? And they kind of look over the fact that some people would be prepared to not play Mind Spike to have a little bit more fun and fluidity in the rotation. thanks for the follow, guys. I really appreciate that. So, the thing is, you can literally play anything you want. If you want to go down the left-hand side of the tree, completely go for it. You will be doing a lot of single target. But it depends on the content you want to do, right? Like, if you're looking at doing keystones, you're probably not going to want to play Mind Spike because it just doesn't fit the rotation well. Exactly, Robert. I'm glad you like the videos, dude, and I'm glad that you know, it kept you playing Shadow Priest. Quite a few people have said that, and it just makes me feel happy. Yeah, so the Wowhead builds generally just aren't very friendly, especially to new people that, you know, want to start playing the spec, and they haven't really had much of a go at it yet. Because quite a few people have said to me, you know, like, I'm just getting into Shadow Priest, and yet, even looking at the Wowhead or Icy Veins article for like rotation guides and class guides, it's a fucking 50 chapter book. And I understand why, because Public did the Wowhead one, I think. But if you didn't add in every single little condition and stuff, people would be like, oh, you know, that's not how you really play Priest. And I did make a YouTube video on it. I did make a YouTube video on AoE versus single target and how it actually plays. So if you guys want a little bit more of a... If you're more of a visual learner, let's say, feel free to check out the video that I did, just because it kind of goes into a little bit... It makes it friendly to the average viewer, let's say that. You know, I'm kind of a bit more visual with it. You know, I show you how to use abilities, when to use abilities. Well, I mean, 18 years playing Shadow Priest, mate. You should be world first raider by now, Robert. You know. But yeah, if you're looking at using the Wowhead articles and the talent builds, please take it with a grain of salt. They're not all they're made out to be, and some of them go needlessly complex. Like, I can tell you right now, like, if you go into Shadow Priest and you look at that Wowhead article, you will not have a clue. If you're new to Priest, you won't have a clue what you're doing. That's just the way it is. Yeah, you're right, Mitch. Like, the best way to get into it is just watch YouTubers and Twitch streamers, because the point of views you get from a main, like, Priest, or let's say a main Warlock, is always going to be more valuable than looking up a guide and reading it. Because, like I said, the majority of WoW players are visual learners. They learn a lot better from looking at things happening instead of actually reading them. And, you know, like I said, that's just the general population of WoW players and people who play games in general. You know, you get the odd person, like Shroud, for example, who's naturally just good at shooters. But if Shroud wanted to be a world first raider, like, he'd have to put in time, and he'd probably have to watch, you know, a lot of POV videos. That's just the way it is. But yeah, like I said, if you're looking at the Wowhead articles, grain of salt all the time. Not everything's that easy. Yeah, 100%. So, Brino, I use Atrocity's UI. He's a Liquid streamer and world first raider. I can give you a link to his Twitch, because he gives out his UI to subscribers and he updates it regularly. It's not up to date at the minute for the pre-patch, but he said he's looking at it being ready to go the week before Dragonflight comes out. So if you don't mind, like, holding on for a bit and waiting for the week before Dragonflight, he'll be updated. I don't normally use other people's UIs, I normally make my own. But I had a break from the game, and coming back, I kind of just needed something to get me going straight away. Yeah, I mean, if that works for you, Robert, like, go for it, man. Like, the Icy Veins one's pretty... It's a little bit more simpler, but I mean, it all has the information in there, you know. Like, for the video that I did, I kind of just used general knowledge, and then had a little look at the guide and condensed it, because there was so much information in it. But yeah, a lot of people have asked, you know, if I'd share the UI and stuff, but given that Atrocity's like made it, and I think I might be wrong here, but I don't think I am. I think the majority of Atrocity's income comes from subscribers on Twitch just wanting his UI. So he puts in a lot of effort to make sure, you know, it's up to date and it works for every single spec and stuff. Oh yeah, like the handful of Shadow Priests, like Kim Woo, who's also like a big Shadow Priest streamer. He's also a Scouser. Well, he's a Wall. He's like from our area of England as well. Like, watching him do the high keystones, it's honestly unreal. Like I understand why you guys wanted like my little event breakdown here on the bottom right, because when I watch his, it helps me out so much. Looking like we have to apply these manually again just because we don't have the Void Eruption. It's going to be weird not having Unholy Nova Shadow Priest going into Dragonflight, I will say that. You just get used to pressing it, right? Like, it's just in your rotation. Right, Void Eruption for this big pull. Although I think the tank might die, yeah. Yep, he pulled a bit too much. And now we all suffer, and my CDs are just wasted. Gotta love that. Yeah, so if you're a Scouser, you're from Liverpool. Northwest. No, don't worry. Like, I was saying this earlier, Mitch. Like, I'm actually surprised by the amount of people that like watch like my stream from like Brazil and like South America and things like that. Right, we got a proc, so we go back-to-back Mindseer here. Fucked. Literally a fuck ton of spirits coming out. Pray for another proc, maybe? Nah, but we live. So again, you don't have to manually reapply here because we're getting our Shadow Crash coming up in 5 seconds. And none of the dots are going to run out. So we're quite, you know, we're on the ball with that. My guide's on my YouTube page. If you go onto it, it should just be in the videos section. This is Retail Relentless. Is that you, Jason? I hope it's you. It's been a while, mate. Yeah, so my guide, it literally just, it's a little quick breakdown on the AoE rotation versus the single target rotation. It just makes it, it's just condensed for the average guy, because the average guy learns a lot better from being told what to do versus reading what to do. And I go into a little bit of detail with all the conditions of when you use Mind Spike and such, but it is generally just a list of rotation and the priority list. Craig Charles. I don't believe I know of him. Although I don't really watch many films, so that might be the reason for it. So I'll pop CDs here just because I always get targeted by the barrage, so there's no point me holding them. And maybe by the time the boss is out, we'll have Void Eruption back up again. But no, yeah, this is the live servers. Beta, I think Mythic Plus comes out again on the beta tomorrow, but I'm actually working Friday and Saturday night. So I'm afraid I won't get to put anything out then. I work 8 till 8, so maybe I get to push something out in the daytimes, but it won't be streaming like right now. So, Brian, not really. Shadow Priest is kind of relatively easy to pick up, providing you've played the game before. So it's almost got a very similar... If you want to look at it like this, you can compare it to Ret in the sense of you build and then you spend. but instead of building Holy Power, you're building Insanity. And the conditions on whether you use Templar's Verdict or Divine Storm, you can use here as well. So the conditions being, if there's more than 2 targets with Priest, you Mindseer. And the condition of, obviously, you've used Divine Storm on Reddit, I think it's like 2+ as well. So it's very similar if you think of it like that. You know, it's quite easy to compare and get used to the changes. It just doesn't have the Holy Power points aspect to it. But it's relatively easy to pick up. It's one of those classes that have like a high skill ceiling. So there's a lot to go into with Shadow Priest, but when you get used to it, you are very rewarded for your effort. Yeah, Yama, like, it's night and day, right, the difference between the Tormented Spirits and the Oxyron build. It's really nice. Like, even just having those extra things from Beyond up more often than what you used to. No worry, Brian. I hope you enjoy Shadow if you, like, completely change over to it. It can get quite frustrating sometimes, but when you get used to it and you, like, you know, you get your head around the proc system and the building and the spending, it's really rewarding. I don't think it will be S tier, but I do think it'll be in a better state than what it was for Shadowlands, even without Searing Nightmare. I think we're probably looking at, you know, we're not going to be MDI material, but we are going to be very competitive in terms of damage. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter on the length of the key, does it? It's like the damage breakdown's going to be roughly the same. That's good though. That's nice. So yeah, I don't think we're going to be MDI material, but we're definitely going to be able to do enough damage to compete with the higher keystones. And you've got to bear in mind as well, MDI is like relatively speed based, but live keystones and pushing keystones, the higher you go, the better Shadow scales. It just, you know, dot classes always scale better in higher keys. That's just the way that dots work, you know. So if you get into high keystones with Shadow, you're really going to unlock the power of it, and you're really going to see how much fun it can be. So bear that in mind. Don't just think about Shadow now as in, like, you know, will I be able to do loads of damage in keys and rush through them? And remember as well, lower keys are going to be an important thing going into Dragonflight. You're not going to be able to do 20s straight away. So definitely try not to look at the damage right now. Definitely just try and get a look at the rotation and if you enjoy the class, how it feels, and worry about damage when it comes to the actual time. Because providing you get used to the class, the damage is always going to be there. You know, as long as you enjoy the spec, naturally people play better on the specs that they enjoy playing. Which is why I always try to encourage people to play the spec that they enjoy. Exactly, Robert. I mean, it's one of those, right? If you're not enjoying the game, you're going to start raiding or do Mythic Plus, get halfway through an expansion and quit because you're playing something that your heart isn't at. You know, and like I said, naturally people just perform better on classes that they enjoy. I'm lucky. I enjoy a lot of the specs in this game. I've played, I think I've played every single spec in Shadowlands. And I enjoy the I enjoy most of them. Which is why I've never really became like as insane at like one spec, because I never main it for long enough. But the game becomes 10 times more fun if you're playing a character that you enjoy maining. Let's have a look at this damage breakdown as well. Thing from Beyond again, just popping off. It's nice to have dots like do a good portion of the damage as well. Just throwing my Discord in there for you guys and my Twitch just for the people that weren't sure what it was. So I've recently made a Discord just because quite a few people that were watching me were asking if I had one already, and I always said no because the community just wasn't big enough. But given like how many people have been watching me and going forward, and people have been asking me quite a few questions, I've actually made the Discord. It's still being set up, but it's I mean it's one of those, right? Stop that. If you're not enjoying the stop that right now. Sorry, yeah. So the Discord's still being set up, but on it, like I have a short FAQ, like just about Priest going forward and what you're going to be doing in Shadowlands and Dragonflight. I've got a variety of talent builds on there that are going to constantly change. I'm going to update them throughout leveling as well and going to level 70. And you'll get a notification whenever I go live or a new video is uploaded. Hey Julian, how's it going? Thank you for all the follows on Twitch, guys. It means a lot as well. Just throwing my Discord in there for you guys and my Twitch. Why is it speaking? Stop. So I've recently made a Discord just. Hate hearing my own voice. Oh, I love Red Dwarf. I just didn't know the actors' names. Me and my wife love Red Dwarf. We grew up watching it. Yeah, Necro is ridiculous at the minute. Oh, honestly, I didn't have a clue who he was. I'm actually so happy now that you've said Red Dwarf. I have to rewatch it. I do really like Red Dwarf. It's pretty fun. Thank you for the follow, Dooku. And Yisko. What I might have to do though, guys, I might have to head off the stream soon just because I've got to do the school run in the morning with my daughter. And I might do the night feed tonight with the baby. And I kind of want to put a video out, so I might turn off the stream and I might try and put together a video just so I can upload it in the morning, just about how Shadow feels after the changes and stuff. But I really appreciate all the support tonight, guys. You guys have been great. Done a nice 3-hour stream. Salt Lake City, man. I love hearing like about Americans that watch, literally just because I find America to be like such a. It's quite fascinating. It's like I watch a lot of YouTubers from America, and I just find it so weird. Like I know we have a lot of accents here, like in England, but the accents in America, it's literally every time you go into a new state, it's a new accent, right? Nah, you gotta love your hometown, mate. Otherwise, what's the point? Hey, King Girl, how's it going? These are my talents at the minute, King Girl. This is generally what I use for Mythic Plus. Hey, mate. I mean, PvP key is pretty decent still, you know. PvP gear still gives you mastery and stuff on it, and versatility, which is just a flat damage increase. So no, I play Necrolord, but on the pre-patch, you got the new talent builds, and the new talent builds have mind games in. So you can see I still have my Necrolord and Holy Nova and Fleshcraft, but with the talent, you gain mind games. But yeah, guys, sorry for the people I've literally just joined. I'm probably gonna head off. I've been streaming 3 hours. So the legendary I'm playing is Unity and Shadowflame Prism. Although you can play Talbadars as well. Talbadars is fine. Whatever it is. Yeah. What's the feat legendary? Oh, don't know about that one, Chief. Yeah, Shadowflame Prism's probably the best. When max level Dooku, so chances are you're going to end up playing Idol of Yasharaj and Idol of Yogg-Saron. So I'm going to use 3 points on Inescapable Torment and Idol of Yasharaj. And then I'm probably going to spend the next 2 on Screams. Because by that point Screams should be fixed, and it should apply both for Shadow Wave Pain and Vampiric Touch. So you're probably just filling in these 3 and then the last 2 on Screams. Although on single target you might end up going Yogg-Saron and Cthulhu, just because on single target Insanity Gen can be a bit rough. So Idol of Cthulhu kind of helps you with that Insanity Gen. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for the support tonight, guys. It's been really nice. I've enjoyed talking to you all. It's been nice to actually have a stream where I'm able to talk, you know, and actually communicate with you guys. But I'm gonna head off for the night. I'll try and get a video out for tomorrow, just depending on time and because I'm back in work tomorrow as well. But I'll try my best. If not, I'll probably try and do a stream tomorrow daytime before I go into work. But thank you so much, guys, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night/day, depending on where you are in the world. No worries. Just a reminder, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube and follow my Twitch, which most of you have. You've been amazing with that. I am obviously trying to make this a viable hobby as well. So I'm doing it as a hobby at the minute, but I work 3 nights a week and stuff, and I love my job. But for the amount of time you put into like editing videos and stuff, and everybody that goes on YouTube tries to make a thing out of it, and it's hard enough like as a WoW streamer anyway. So it does add up, and it does make all the difference. and I appreciate you all for watching. But yeah, have a nice night, guys, and I'll see you